Jaden Hardy came out of high school as the #1 ranked shooting guard and 6th ranked player nationally per Rivals.com. He reportedly had 29 offers from colleges around the country, including big-name schools like Kansas and Kentucky. But Hardy instead chose to sign with the G League Ignite and play out his one season before being drafted in the G League. Hardy had an up-and-down season with Ignite, posting big counting stats but struggling with efficiency. As a result, Hardy has become one of the more polarizing prospects in this draft. Some people point to his raw talent and see a potential star in the making, while others point to his issues with efficiency and defense and see a guy that will struggle to find a foothold in the NBA. Despite this polarization, Hardy's pedigree and flashes of high-end ability at such a young age will likely see him drafted in the mid to late first round of this upcoming draft. The first strength for Hardy is playmaking. A lot of people look at Hardy's scoring numbers and efficiency when evaluating him as a prospect, and his playmaking ability gets overlooked. But Hardy is already a pretty good playmaker for a 19-year-old shooting guard. Hardy can handle the ball well and has the strength and athleticism to penetrate the first line of defense. Once he gets that far, he's great at finding open teammates on the perimeter or teammates rolling/cutting to the basket. While Hardy might not be the guy you have bringing the ball up and initiating the offense regularly, he could be valuable as a secondary playmaker that can attack off the ball and find open teammates for good looks. If Hardy is able to start scoring at a high level, he could become a very dangerous offensive player with his ability to playmake for others. Another strength for Hardy is athleticism. Hardy might not be the guy people typically think of when they think of a high-level NBA athlete. He's not out there posterizing guys every night or swatting shots into the second row, but he's very fluid and has good body control. Hardy is great at maintaining his balance while changing speeds and directions on drives, and also does a good job of playing through contact around the basket. While Hardy hasn't perfected the art of scoring efficiently yet, his fluidity and balance allows him to get to the basket at a high rate for a player that is only 6'4". If Hardy is able to perfect his touch, he could give defenses problems because they would have to respect his ability to get to the basket, but also deal with the fact that he could suddenly pull up for a shot under control and knock it down. One weakness for Hardy is defense. Hardy profiles as a solid wing defender. He's a bit short at 6'4", but he has a 6'9" wingspan and is a good athlete. But despite having some nice tools, Hardy is not a good defender right now. On the ball, he struggles to stay in front of guys and will give up cheap fouls when he gets beat. Off the ball, he ball watches and loses his man at times. Hardy will gamble for steals at times, and sometimes it works, other times it results in him getting completely out of position. Compounding all of this, he doesn't seem to care too much about defense. He definitely could be a better defender if he just put in the effort, but he didn't seem to have any desire to do so, at least in the G League. It's entirely possible that Hardy has more defensive ability and wasn't taking the G League experience too seriously in that regard, but I definitely was not encouraged by what I saw out of Hardy on the defensive end of the floor. Another weakness for Hardy is shot selection. Throughout the NBA, we see these irrational confidence guys. Players that legitimately seem to believe that they're the best offensive option on a team despite mountains of evidence to the contrary. These guys will go nuts one night and make you very happy as a fan, and then jack up and miss a bunch of questionable shots the next game and have you shaking your head. Hardy's G League performance makes him look like this type of player. Hardy averaged 18.3 shots per game and scored 19.5 points per game across 25 games during the G League season. Not exactly what you would consider peak efficiency. Part of this comes back to Hardy's shot selection. Hardy can get his shot off in just about any situation, but he seems to be a little too comfortable with that fact. He fired up contested looks early in the shot clock throughout the season. In fairness, there may have been some possessions basically drawn up with the intention of Hardy taking a tough shot, but I doubt that was the case the majority of the time. In the NBA, Hardy will either need to prove that he can make those tough shots or commit to taking better shots. If he doesn't do either of these things, he's going to have a hard time staying in the good graces of an NBA coach. This first clip shows off some of Hardy's ability as a playmaker. The play starts with Hardy handling the ball out near half court. He puts on a few moves, then drives left to set up the screen. He changes speeds and ends up drawing the attention of both defenders in the pick and roll. He then accelerates downhill to the basket and hits the roll man for an easy bucket. Being able to process quickly on the move like this and set up teammates for good looks is a valuable skill that will be helpful in Hardy finding success in the NBA. This next clip displays Hardy's fluidity and balance as an athlete. The play begins with Hardy grabbing the rebound on the defensive end of the floor. He then brings it up, changes speeds quickly while rejecting the screen, snakes his way through the defense, and finishes in traffic at the basket. A play like this requires some good body control all around. Hardy having this type of balance will certainly help his offensive game at the next level. This final clip lets us see how Hardy can struggle on the defensive end of the floor. The play starts with an inbound from the side. Hardy switches onto Frankie Ferrari off a simple handoff and then everything falls apart. Ferrari makes a pretty simple spin move back to his left and leaves Hardy in the dust. Hardy's teammate then slides over to help on the drive, and Hardy realizes he needs to stay with the perimeter player. The pass comes and Hardy again gets duped by a fairly simple move, leading to an open jump shot from the top of the key. Hardy routinely displays great body control and athleticism on the offensive end, but on the defensive end these skills seem to leave his body at times. Defensive possessions like this one will drive coaches crazy at the NBA level. Jaden Hardy is one of the toughest prospects to evaluate in this draft. He shows flashes of incredible talent, but then also takes bad shots and doesn't seem to have the desire to play hard on defense. I think the optimistic side of the argument would point to a prospect like LaMelo Ball. When LaMelo played in the NBL, he displayed his incredible talent and flashes, but struggled mightily with efficiency and defense and made people wonder if he was really ready for the NBA. LaMelo went on to win Rookie of the Year, and this past season was selected to his first All-Star team. Hardy certainly has high-level talent, but the struggles with shooting, shot selection, and defense make it difficult for me to see him being successful in the NBA. But sometimes talent wins out, and I hope that is the case for Hardy in the NBA. My NBA comp for Jaden Hardy is Bradley Beal. Beal is obviously a much better shooter at this time than Hardy, but both are shooting guards with plus 5-inch wingspans that can handle the ball, play make for others, and also struggle on the defensive end of the floor. If Hardy is able to improve as a shooter, we could see him start to reach towards the Bradley Beal ceiling someday.